Hi guys, hope everyone's okay. I just want to say thank you first of all for the response I've had on last week's video on Testimony Tuesday. I've had a great response from messages, likes, views and shares. A lot of people have messaged me saying they've never seen me happier or never seen me full of life or anything like that. But, just want to give thanks to God for that. God took away my depression and my anxiety. Last week I spoke about sacrificing who I was for who I was going to be, and this week I'd like to talk about letting go of mine, or letting go of me, and becoming his. So before I start, I just want to pray for my words to resonate within people today, and to glorify Jesus as well. All of this, everyone's talking to me and telling me how well the videos are and how well I'm speaking, how happy I look, how well I'm doing. But it's all down to Jesus and the love of Jesus and him taking away my depression and anxiety. So we lift up and give thanks to him. And I pray for anyone who is suffering from depression and anxiety as well to have a prayer and build that relationship with Jesus, because honestly, he is there and he is waiting to heal your life, and he's really waiting to take away your anxiety and depression as he took away mine. So today is about letting go of mine and becoming his. So this is my personal journey of what I went on, and so it was after being born again, being saved by Jesus and having my anxiety and depression taken away from me. I was still faced with something else. I was still faced with losing the letters in my life, losing the letters I and me. I was still seeking validation in different ways, especially before I met Jesus as well. I was seeking validation in all the wrong places, through women, through comedy, just to be seen as being a boss lad. I wanted to be seen like I was just smashing life, doing really well, So during my time, especially as doing stand-up comedy, I wanted to be seen as like an up-and-coming, taking over, new on the scene, smashing a comedian, to the point where I lived a complete fake existence. I'd never allow myself to be seen in public as the depression, anxiety man that I was. Times I would have a panic attack and be nervous about performing, but I'd try not to let anyone see the real me, because I was just seeking that validation of wanting to be seen as smashing it, basically. Like for an example, like any comedy events I'd go to in Liverpool, I wanted to have like a different girl with me every time, because I wanted to be seen by other comedians and friends and people that I know, to be smashing it with the ladies, have a different girl every week and stuff like that. I wanted to have my videos, my comedy videos, liked, shared, loved, talked about. I wanted to be recognised when I was walking through town. I wanted people to recognise me from my videos. I wanted to just be seen as I was famous, basically. I wanted to be seen like, I was famous. I wanted to be seen by other comedians that I was famous as well. I wanted to stand out from the rest of them. I wanted them to talk about me. So to the point where I wanted to have like a bigger following than anyone else, to the point where I was buying Twitter followers and Instagram likes and Instagram followers as well. I wanted other comedians to be like, wow, John McCready's smashing it, So it was just all validation. I was seeking so much validation in all the wrong places, and even after meeting Jesus and him taking away my anxiety and my depression, which was amazing, and stopping me from suicide, it did give me a newness of life. But that need to be seen and talked about and loved and appreciated took a new swing into things. I started being, when I was a Christian, early days, the group I was hanging around with, bless them, I wanted to be seen to them as being like an amazing Christian. I started doing little videos on Instagram, like minute-long ones and stuff like that, and I wanted people to see me videos and be like, whoa, John's a cool Christian, John's smashing it for Jesus, John's on fire for Jesus. That's what I wanted people to see. I wanted them to be shared, loved, talked about, and I wanted to be recognised as a Christian through them by other Christians. Can you see the pattern here? It was all about me, I, and then I realised, I did have to take a break from that, from videos and being loud, basically, through my personal journey of reflection and This is the first time in 29 years of my life where I was really facing my own fears and learning actually how to love myself for the first time, for loving me, the real me, not like the fake persona that I was projecting for 29 years, because I didn't want people to see how broken I was inside, and I wanted to be seen like I was amazing and stuff, but really I was just an anxious boy, man. And so this was the first time in 29 years that I really started to face who I was and lose this fakeness of me, this fake ego, this fake confidence that I had, this ego. And I was learning how to strip myself, how to humble myself before God, and how to just love God and then love my neighbour, and then really, for the first time ever, love myself. And this was so hard to do because I had to lose that pride. I had to really humble myself, and it really hit me that Jesus did take away my anxiety and my depressive and my suicidal thoughts, but I was still left with this pride. And I started to realise, for me, for my personal journey, that my pride and my ego was still a form of anxiety. I think if anxiety was the root, pride would definitely be a fruit for me, and I started to realise this, so I wanted to tackle this in a way. For an example, there's a line from James 4:7, and it says, "Resist the devil and he will flee." And I know how that sounds, guys, me saying the devil, because you picture like red face and horns from like the Simpsons cartoon or something like that, but the devil is real. And the devil really had control of my life for a long time. The devil didn't come into my life with a red face and horns. The devil came into my life with sexual desires. He came in with lust. He came in with just being nasty. He came in with judging people. He came in with hate. But he also came in with anxiety and depression and suicidal thoughts, So James 4:7 says, "Resist the devil and he will flee." And I couldn't work this out because I was resisting the devil. I really was resisting the devil, and he wasn't fleeing. Like, okay, my anxiety was gone and my depression was gone, but the need for my pride and my ego and that form of validation which I wanted was still there. And I was trying to resist this, but I felt like it wasn't fleeing. I felt like lonely. I felt like something had been cut off from my life. So I actually thought about stepping away from everything. I had it when I first got saved that I wanted to do like a podcast. I wanted to preach. I wanted to do loads of things to share Jesus' love. But I started to think maybe I'm doing this for a form of validation still. I still want to be seen as a on-fire Christian. I want people to recognise me, to do it for my own fame. So I thought about stepping away from it and just having a quiet Christian life, And I really felt it on my heart to do that for a little bit. So I took a step back. I stopped recording videos, and I wanted to just find out where he was calling me to be and see what happens, And the more I got into it and the more I researched it, and I actually researched it properly, that the line from James 4:7 is rightly so, "Resist the devil and he will flee." But for me, I was missing off the start of that sentence, which was arguably the most important start of a sentence for me, and it was submit yourselves to God, resist the devil, and then he will flee. And it really did hit me then that I just needed to learn how to humble myself before God. I was so wrapped up in my life of being, I'm going to do this, I want this, I will do this, I, me, when really I am nothing without God. We are nothing without God. Jesus allows me to be able to do these amazing things. Jesus allows us to breathe and live in this world. So I needed to humble myself and start giving thanks to the Father for everything in my life, and really meaning it, really enjoying it, and building that relationship and submitting to him in everything I do. Let his will be done upon my life. Submit yourself to God, resist the devil, and he will flee. My anxiety was going, my depression was going, and now my pride was starting to go. And I didn't want this pride anymore. This was a fake, egotistical fakeness, roaring lion in the darkness waiting to devour me. And it really was. If anxiety was the root, pride was definitely a fruit of that. It was waiting to ruin my life. And if I let it, it was in the darkness waiting for me, and I had to keep a sober mind. 1 Peter 5 says, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, and he will lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxieties on him, because he cares for you. Be alert and be of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, waiting for someone to devour." You see the pattern here? Humble yourself before God, submit yourself to God, he will lift you up in due time. Your enemy, the false, proud, anxiety, ego, fakeness, is like a roaring lion waiting to devour you, waiting to take control of your life again. I was learning to humble myself, and I was learning to build this relationship with God, this one-to-one relationship with God, and I was starting to really think about where he wanted me and how he wanted me to live my life. And do you know what, guys? I'm not going to lie. I was a few months in of being quiet and just really reflecting on myself and submitting to God and everything I could do. I was really ready to just have a quiet life, really just to chill out and go to church every Sunday, learn on my relationship, give advice if someone ever asks me, or pray in the household and stuff like that. But I was ready to have a quiet life, and I did keep getting this overwhelming feeling that God has blessed me with a gift to be able to speak. He has public speaking. Probably scares most people to get up in front of hundreds of people, especially stand-up comedy, and get up and try and make people laugh is ridiculously hard. And for me, it was always easier to do, and it was never, I get nervous, definitely, but I was never put off by it. And I do feel like these were always gifts from God, and I always felt in my heart it was time to use them gifts for him. Time to do the videos, time to get a podcast going, and start sharing the love of Jesus. But it did feel that there was some part of me still doing this thing for my own satisfaction, to get me out there to be famous still. I still had this little anxiety and fears of it. And I spoke to a pastor on the Wirral. His name's Mark Saunders. He has a church called Maitland Church. You check his stuff out, it's really cool. And I was speaking to him about it, and I was saying, I'm thinking about like just going quiet and just chilling out, and I'm happy doing that. And he was mentioning to me that if I did that, then the enemy wins, the devil wins, because the devil wants me to stop. The devil wants us all to stop using the gifts that God's given us. We need to humble ourselves before God and realise that it's because of him we're able to have these gifts, and keep it like that. And then it's a reflection of him, and it's sharing his love. I'm able to use the skills that he blessed me for good, and to share the witness account of Jesus. But I was still unsure, because I was, after speaking with Mark, I was still unsure. And I was, so I thought, what, the best thing I can do is humble myself. So I did, and I prayed on it, and I asked God, what does he want me to do? Does he want me to be a quiet Christian, which I'm happy doing? I'm happy just chilling out and just going to church, as I say, and helping out when I can. And I was praying to God, and I came across Isaiah 49:6, and it just hit me like a brick, and it really did. And it says, "It is too small of a thing for you to be my servants, and restore the tribes of Jacob, and bring back those of Israel I have kept. I will also make you a light among the Gentiles, that my salvation may reach the ends of the earth." I felt like this was God telling me that he's made me a light, and it's time to use that now, and stop using the gifts that I thought were for me, for my own selfish needs, and use them for what they were for him. So let his light shine. And it's absolutely amazing. In this moment, I realised, I just felt this real shalom, this real peace over chaos, anxiety gone, depression gone, my ego is gone. And you know what? I just kind of felt like in my life, I've got nothing left to prove to anyone. I don't need to prove anything to anyone, do you know what I mean? I'm in a loving relationship. I love my girlfriends, I love my family, I love my friends, and do you know what? I'm in a solid relationship with Jesus, and I love Jesus, and he loves me, and it's a perfect relationship to be in. It was in this moment I stopped being mine, and I became his. And you know what, guys? If there's anyone out there who's going through the same thing and seeking validation, invite Jesus into your life, because he is waiting to come in and give you the ultimate validation. I pray for anyone who's suffering with anxiety or depression to just lift up and give thanks to Jesus and invite him into your life. He loves you so much. So thank you for watching my videos, and tune in next week for another episode of Testimony Tuesday.